Hey, John.
Hey, Will, how are you?
Doing well.
Excellent.
Miss Patel, you had a question? Miss Patel, did you have a question?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for my number.
Okay. I'm going to lower your hand. We'll enable you to speak when it's time. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks.
Hey, Tommy.
Hello. Mr. Roberto, hello.
Sorry, I'm hitting the wrong button.
I can all
There
I
we
can
go.
see
I'm back.
doing this.
Yeah, you get to see the. I've tried to click the right thing.
Looks like you've had a haircut, Tommy.
I have. I got my quarterly cut. I did, yeah.
I am still in need of that. It hasn't occurred yet.
Mm-hmm.
Are you in your office?
Yes, this is my normal work zone. Yes.
Okay. I see.
Yeah. I operate at home from one of my son's rooms, so usually council meetings interrupt bedtime, so I have to leave there and move to a different.
I had noticed. Yeah, I noticed that you had like a set change that went on.
Yeah, I did. I see what you did. I think I'm just gonna sleep here tonight.
I hope that's not necessary.
No, me too.
All right, we got about 2 minutes. Unless Will tells me my clock is wrong.
You have 1 minute.
Oh, see, time flies.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, was that what fun? Time flies when you're having fun.
Exactly.
So much fun.
Hello, Andrew.
Hello.
The gang's
Seema,
almost
I think you
gone.
have the most comfortable seat.
Look,
Looks like.
yeah.
Do I have enough pillows?
What is the cat's name that we get to see?
That was Harpo.
Harpo. Okay.
I had another cat named Groucho. We have a theme in our family. So
Oh, when this is all over, are we just gonna have meeting in each other's rooms?
I like that.
Like, we do it at Andrew's house one time and we
A
all
prog-
get to see where we've been,
Progressive council meeting.
Yeah, you'll have no problem. Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
That won't be hard to coordinate.
No, of course not. Well, you said you were having fun.
I was, yeah, so
Yeah,
serious.
I know it. That's why I'm having fun now.
Okay.
Well, Will, I think it's 5 o'clock. Do you think that's right?
I believe so.
All right. Well, hello, Knoxville. This is your Knoxville Beer Board. Today is Tuesday, May the 19th of 2020. Mr. Johnson, can you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Fugit,
Here.
Vice Mayor McKenzie, Councilwoman Parker,
Here.
Councilwoman Ryder,
Here.
Councilman Roberto,
Here.
Councilwoman Singh,
Here.
Councilman Smith,
Here.
Councilwoman Testerman,
Here.
Councilman Thomas,
Here.
missing one, Vice
Okay.
Mayor McKenzie.
All right.
Vice Mayor
Well, I'm sure
McKenzie is
she'll-
here.
Oh,
There we are.
we've got everybody. All right. Well, in your packet, you have minutes, and so I'd entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, hearing a motion in a second, any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, go ahead and do a roll call vote, Mr. Johnson.
Councilwoman Ryder,
Here, yes.
Councilman Roberto,
Yes.
Councilwoman Singh,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilman Testerman,
Yes.
Councilman Thomas,
Aye. Yes.
Councilwoman Fugit,
Aye.
Vice Mayor McKenzie,
Yes.
Councilwoman Parker.
Yes.
I've noticed that we do more yeses on the Zoom than we do ayes, but when we were in the city county building, we did more ayes. So maybe there's some level of informality at home. I don't know. All right.
Hi, Roberto.
Before we get started, I've got a few announcements. We've got 6 beer permit applications before us tonight, as well as 1 addendum to our agenda. As you can see, today's meeting, like April's meeting, is being held on Zoom, and that will make things a little different for all of us, and even though we've done it once before. When I call the names of a business applying for a permit, please raise your hand in Zoom. If you dialed in by phone, you can hit *9 on your phone. That will raise your hand so Mr. Johnson can see you. And if you need to mute yourself or unmute yourself, you can do that with *6. When I call on you, please state your name and address clearly for the record. Applicants who are approved pending final documentation will need to bring their completed documents to the business tax office during regular business hours. Applicants that have their permits approved tonight can pick up their permits after the meeting, although that may be more difficult because it'll be closing time, so we may have to do that tomorrow. As I'm chairing the meeting, other members will be making motions for the 2nd District tonight. Because our meeting is being held on Zoom, all of the votes you're going to hear tonight will be done by roll call vote. So let's go ahead and get started. Mr. Johnson, who do we have up first?
Well, first, Councilman Roberto, we have a number of persons signed up as Mark Bird here in the pool. Mark,
Okay.
could you please identify yourself? That way I can figure out who these other individuals might be.
I've raised my hand, if that
Okay.
helps.
It does. I'm going to change the role of the other Mark Birds so that we can make this a little cleaner.
The world isn't ready for more than one Mark Bird, I don't think.
Okay. I've taken care of one, and the other one has appeared to disappear. So the Hampton Inn Cedar Bluff is the first on the agenda.
Okay. Sergeant Coward.
No applicable record.
Mr. Byrd.
That file is complete.
Okay. Do we have somebody on the line from the Hampton Inn Cedar Bluff?
I am seeing a Patel, but I think that's for another item, the Thumbs Up Market. I don't see anyone listed for the Hampton Inn.
Wasn't
Okay, well-
Asim Patel listed on the Cedar Bluff as well?
Yes.
Someone's raised their hand. I'll allow them to speak.
Hello.
Hello, are you speaking to the Hampton Inn Cedar Bluff or?
No, I got a gas station.
Okay, Thumbs Up Market.
Yeah,
Okay, we've not come to that yet. Thank you. We'll come back to you.
sure.
I don't see anybody here for that.
Okay. We
business.
have no applicable record and we have a complete file. Any motions or discussions on this one?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Mr. Johnson, roll call vote.
Councilwoman Ryder,
Yes.
Councilman Roberto,
Yes.
Councilwoman Singh,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Testerman,
Yes.
Councilman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fugit,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McKenzie,
Yes.
Councilwoman Parker.
Yes.
All right, so moved. Next up, Mr. Johnson.
Lakeshore Park, sir.
Okay, Mr. Byrd, I understand this one has withdrawn.
That is correct.
Okay. All right, no need for any more action there. So, Mr. Johnson, what's our next applicant?
Pete Cook Bowl.
Okay. Sergeant Coward,
No applicable record.
Mr. Byrd,
That file still requires the copy of the sales tax registration and approvals from building inspection, fire prevention, and the health department.
okay. Is someone on the line for us for Pete Cook Bowl?
The only other person in the pool is the mystery Mark Bird. I'm going to allow them to speak so we can figure out which applicant they are.
Hello, anyone there?
Could you identify yourself? We've enabled you to speak.
My name is Peter Barjabo.
Oh, yes, you're Pete Cook Bowl then.
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about Pete Cook Bowl?
It's like a bar at the comedy club. We try to open, and I got my food truck. That's why we call Pete Cobo. And I'm still waiting for the fire department to inspect this. The coronavirus, I think I ain't seen anybody come out yet.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's a new business. It's just a new business. We just try to open.
All right. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
So
Chair Roberto, I will move to approve pending final documentation.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Johnson, roll call vote.
Vice Mayor McKenzie,
Yes.
Councilwoman Parker,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder,
Yes.
Councilman Roberto,
Yes.
Councilwoman Singh,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Testerman,
Yes.
Councilman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fugit.
Yes.
All right, so moved. Mr. Johnson, what do we have up next?
Ray's Market and Deli.
Okay. Mr. Byrd, I understand this applicant has asked for a deferral to the June agenda. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Well, do I have a motion to move this item to the June agenda?
Yeah,
Make a
to
motion.
to the June.
I'll second.
Okay, I'm hearing a motion, a second. Any discussion?
That.
I thought I heard something. Okay. Hearing no discussion on the motion to move to the June agenda, Mr. Johnson, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor McKenzie,
Yes.
Councilwoman Parker,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder,
Yes.
Councilman Roberto,
Yes.
Councilwoman Singh,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Testerman,
Yes.
Councilman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fugit.
Yes.
All right, so moved. Mr. Johnson, what do we have up next?
Tailgating for a Cause.
Okay. And Sergeant Coward
No record.
and Mr. Byrd.
That file is complete.
Oh, that's always good to hear. Is there anyone on the line for us from Tailgating for a Cause?
Garrett Thompson is on the call.
Garrett, are you there for us?
There we go. Yep, I'm here.
All right. Hey, can you tell us a little bit about Tailgating for a Cause?
Sure. We are a nonprofit here in town that puts on events for local charities. We have actually already applied for this beer permit, but we've had to move the date from June 20th to August to comply with the city's phases. So we wanted to go ahead and do that.
Okay. Very good.
I have a
I'll move to
question.
approve.
Chair, I have a question, please.
Go ahead.
Okay. Sir, could you tell us how many people you anticipate at this event?
Well, we are restructuring the event actually to comply with whatever the city rolls out next in terms of mass gatherings. We have typically hosted one session that saw about 2,000 people, and instead of doing one session, we're going to break it up into multiple sessions. And depending on what those new guidelines are going to look like will kind of depend on how many sessions we'll need to do throughout the 2 days. We're going to keep the same footprint that we've had before, but we're going to actually remove about half of our beer vendors to help out with spacing, as well as remove our reusable cups and use disposable cups to lower transmission. We've got a whole social distancing and sanitation plan for the event as well.
Okay, so I am a little nervous about this. However, I think if we move to approve, I know that you will be bound by the guidance from the health department and the city as it relates to where we may be in this in the COVID stage and reentry by that time. So question for our beer chair, Chair Roberto, in the event that there is not guidance that allows for gatherings over, let's say, 50 people, and this just would not accommodate this particular event, and they needed to reschedule it again, would there beer permit, is it only good for these dates and then they would have to come back before us? Or Mr. Frost, can someone maybe address that?
Yes, they would have to come back for the new date because the public notice is given for a specific time. I'm sure they would pass again, but they would have to come back for a new date.
Okay, but they would not be charged any additional fees or anything since it would not be any fault of their own if they had to reschedule again after the approval.
Personally, I don't know. Maybe Mr. Byrd might know that.
Yes, they wouldn't be charged an additional fee if that had to happen, since, as you say, it wasn't due to their fault.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
In that
Council
case, I think we have any more
Go
questions?
ahead.
More questions? I'm sorry, I can't. Let me get the gallery again. Okay.
I was just gonna say, apparently that's what happened this time, because they were approved April 20, looks like they were approved says they were approved for the first at a beer board meeting for June 19th and 20th. So was that last April they got approved for this June and then had to reschedule? I'm confused.
Yes.
Yeah, we were in the beer
That's
board meeting this last month.
exactly right.
All right, I had a couple of different people speaking at once. So
That's right. Y'all, I'm so confused. We're in May now, so we approved them in April for June. Got it. We're in May now.
But you are correct that we previously approved it for a different date, and now we're approving it for the new date.
So the same thing would happen again.
Right.
Yes.
Have it.
All right, Mr. Frost, did I say that correctly?
You are correct.
All right. Well, I'll enjoy it while I can. Okay, so
I'll second that motion.
Yeah, I moved to
all right, very
approve.
good. All right, so we had a motion to approve and we had a second on tailgating for a cause. Any discussion? All right, hearing no discussion, Mr. Johnson, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Testerman,
Yes.
Councilman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fugit,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McKenzie,
Yes.
Councilwoman Parker,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder,
Yes.
Councilman Roberto,
Yes.
Councilwoman Singh,
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
All right, that's so moved. Mr. Johnson, what do we have up next?
We do have Thumbs Up Market.
Okay. And I guess while you're looking for their representative, Sergeant Coward.
No record.
All right, Mr. Byrd.
The file still requires a copy of the sales tax registration, as well as building inspections, fire prevention, and health department approvals, and the surrender of the existing beer permit.
Okay. All right. Do we have somebody on the line from Thumbs Up Market?
We do.
Hello.
Yes. Are you here for Thumbs Up Market?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your establishment?
Yeah, my location is 2400 East Magnolia Avenue, Knoxville, Tennessee 37917.
Okay. What type of establishment is it?
This is a gas station.
Okay.
And change the ownership.
Okay.
I'll move to approve pending final documentation.
Very good.
Second.
All right. I hear a motion and a second to approve pending final documentation. Any discussion? All right. Hearing none, Mr. Johnson, call the roll.
Vice Mayor McKenzie,
Yes.
Councilwoman Parker,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder,
Aye.
Councilman Roberto,
Yes.
Councilwoman Singh,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Testerman,
Yes.
Councilman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fugit.
Aye.
All right. So moved pending final documentation. I believe that takes us to our addendum. Is that correct, Mr. Johnson?
That's correct.
And what do we have up next?
Aurora Restaurant and Grill.
Okay. Mr. Byrd, it looks to me like this was approved pending final documentation back in October, and they're still needing a few items. What are they still needing?
We still require a copy of the sales tax registration, a written plan for server compliance, and building inspections, fire prevention, and the health department approval.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, do we have anyone on the line from Aurora Restaurant and Grill?
We do not. Mr. Byrd informed me that the applicant, Mr. Edward Bailey, was planning on phoning in to the meeting.
Okay.
And he does not appear here.
Okay.
Mr. Bailey did, if I may. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
I was just going to say, Mr. Bailey, when I spoke with him yesterday, did express kind of an uncomfortability with technology. And I had at that time involved his daughter, emailing her. He provided her on the phone, and I emailed her the information to kind of hope to be an assistance. But I don't know how well that's panned out if he's not able to have logged in here presently.
Okay. Well, it certainly seems like there's some additional documentation that's needed. I'd entertain any motions anyone wants to bring on this particular matter.
So our last motion on this was approval pending final documentation. Is that where we left it?
I believe it would have been.
Correct.
I believe it would have been a motion to extend if it was approved back in the fall.
Okay.
It would only been good for 90 days.
Oh, meaning we've already given it one extension. Is that what you're saying?
He was extended on January 28th.
Okay. So our options are to give them another extension of 30 or more days, or
If you take no action, it would die, and he would have to start over. But I'd respectfully submit, if Mr. Byrd's been in recent conversation with him,
I'm not comfortable with that.
He's still interested in pursuing it.
I'd like to entertain a motion for a 30-day extension, simply because the person, sounds like there's some technology challenges, but, and then with the COVID stuff that's going on, I would be comfortable with a 30-day extension. However, if we do not have any movement or the person does not attend for whatever reason, the next one, I would not be comfortable moving further with any additional extensions. So that's my motion that I'll put out there. We'll see where that goes.
I'll second that.
Okay. We've got a motion to hear this again in 30 days and a second. Any other discussion? Mr. Byrd, will you be able to reach out to this applicant? And I understand there was some previous discussion about, challenges with technology. Hopefully we'll be back to live meetings at the time that our next meeting occurs, but we don't know that. Can you make sure you reach out to them and try to get a further update for us and offer some assistance?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. All right, hearing no other discussion, Mr. Johnson, call the roll.
Vice Mayor McKenzie,
Yes.
Councilwoman Parker,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder,
yes.
Councilman Roberto,
Yes.
Councilwoman Singh,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Testerman,
Yes.
Councilman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fugit.
Yes.
So moved. Mr. Johnson, do we have anything else on our agenda?
We are at the end of the agenda.
Okay. Any other discussion from members? All right, seeing none, and since our business is done at the beer board today, I'll adjourn the meeting and see you all back in 30 minutes or so.
Thank you.
Thank you.